It's not often you get to sit down with one of the best players in the world in Call of Duty Warzone, and I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. That's right, I was able to sit down with none other than one of the superstars of Team Falcons, none other than Dongy himself. Now, I always love being able to sit and talk with Dongy because I love the way he thinks about the game and approaches it, but he also has a really cool story, a meteoric rise to stardom, coming in from being a team in the open in the World Series of Warzone 2023 to now being arguably one of the faces and a top dog in the competitive scene. It was great to be able to sit down with him and just talk about his career, but also his mentality and how he approaches, various different sort of scenarios, how he approaches team dynamics, things like that, and what makes him one of the best in the world. So hopefully you enjoy this. Definitely go ahead, like and subscribe if you want. Leave a comment who you'd like to see me interview next. Without further ado, here we go for a great conversation with none other than Dongy. All right, we are back. Got a chance to sit down with, a man I haven't seen since I was putting a medal over his neck in Atlanta. It is considered by some to be one of the best players in the game, a meteoric rise to fame. It is none other than Mr. Do I call you Z Dongy? Dongy? Which one are we actually landing on nowadays?
Get the Z out of there.
Get the Z out of there, he says. Okay, we're with Dongy. How you doing today, man?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's been a good day so far. It's apparently about to get like nuclear hot this week, and that I'm not excited for. It's gonna be super humid, but that's why I sit indoors in AC and play Call of Duty. But
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, we'll get right into it because I think what's interesting about you is that I feel like everybody's watched your career, but not a lot of people. I feel like people don't like know you as like a human, I feel like. So I kind of want to start from the beginning of how did you sort of get into Warzone, but also more importantly, was there a specific moment where you said, oh wait, I'm pretty nasty at this and think I can maybe start competing?
Yeah, so basically Warzone dropped 2020. I was a 16-year-old kid. I think I just turned 16. I was still in high school. I started playing then. I didn't take it serious because obviously I was 16. I was just pubbing, having fun, just found random friends to play with. And as soon as Caldera came out, I played Warzone off and on. I didn't take it very serious. I played for like 2 hours a day. Caldera came out. I turned 18. I was able to actually compete in tournaments. So like some of the bigger tournaments I played in were like, there was like a Husk and TP tourney that I played in. I won that. And then I would play like smaller stuff. And then I played World Series in Caldera with two of my friends, Rumble and Nofo, which I ended up playing with Nofo the next year.
Yep.
We ended up getting, I think we tied for 10th. So considering we didn't play, like they played comp a little bit, but I didn't play at all. That was fairly good. Going into the next year, Warzone 2, a lot of people considered me a hacker. So I had that because I mean, to be fair, like I didn't stream, like I didn't take it serious. Like Caldera, I just graduated high school. Like next year, I was like working a part-time job just so I could have like a little bit of income because I wanted to take a gap year and then start working on college. My dad was not okay with that. He was not okay with it. My parents were like questioning everything so heavily, but Warzone 2 started streaming a little bit and then rank drop. That was like rank dropping was life-changing for me because I built so many connections, talked to so many people, grew my brand. I probably got 20,000 followers on Twitch in like 2 months just off of like streaming ranked. I got #1. And it gave me a lot of notability. And then I played Stage 1 and Stage 2 World Series. Stage 2, we did very well. I top fragged that. Stage 1, we did good too. I think we got like 7th or something. And then Stage 2, we ended up getting like 6th. Qualified for LAN. That was like the big thing for me.
Yeah.
That changed everything. Rank changed everything. Then we went to LAN. Kind of stunk it out. I didn't have the best showing. I think it was a lot of different things. I think it was mostly there's no one to blame, but honestly, it was mostly myself.
There's so many people that year that like, you know what, you did better than Ebates, so you can hold that.
But like people held me to such a high standard back then that it's like it just like we didn't do we got like 20th.
You're 22nd. Is what it was.
So it was awful. A lot of people did worse. I didn't, it was a rough thing because I came back and I was still #1 and it was like, wow, I'm going to get bombarded by Twitch chat. And that's what happened. But honestly, I got over it like 2 weeks. But that was a heavy hitter. And then as soon as that happened, I got a text from Gary and Scummin, mostly Gary. And they were like, "Do you want to team with us?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" Like,
Yeah.
that's that's a solid team. I didn't know much about roles and stuff, so we didn't know how that was gonna work.
Nobody did at that time.
Yeah, and back then it was like roles didn't really matter.
Like,
yeah, so it was like whatever. But I was like, team invite, yes, I'm down. Captain spots for every tourney. I'm a duo with Gary, so we have I have a lot of money possibly coming up into my hands.
Yep.
As an 18-year-old kid, I was like, dude, I gotta take that. So I did that. Warzone 3 came around. That was probably my. I mean, even for the first half of Warzone 3, like we were still like mediocre. We weren't nothing crazy. We were a solid team. And then I think it was as soon as EWC hit that year where I got the opportunity to play for and Tekka last second. I was their last resort.
Yeah.
Because everybody else was asleep or didn't want to play. That changed everything because I was like a big confidence booster for me personally. I went in like I had like 18 kills one map.
Dude,
I was like, these guys are like awful,
nuclear.
Yeah.
I remember there's like so much to unpack through all of that. But like, dude, I remember going into that EWC because like we obviously knew who you were. I was like, all right, cool. Like, if you're gonna get a last second pickup, I'm like, yeah, there's really nobody else that you could have grabbed at that moment. And it was like, I fully expect you guys to do okay. And then you came in that solos day. I think it was like one of those first solo games where you just went, all right, sure, whatever. And just, it was like 18 or 20. And like the first ones, I was like, oh, this is, and I do think that was like the first, because like obviously people knew you were good, but I feel like that's where you kind of got this moniker of just being this like unreal fragger. It's because you showed up to EWC as a last second pickup, and all of a sudden you're out frying teams that have been together the entire year and that are there. I mean, it was really fun to be able to watch that. But talk about, dude, just like talk me through that of like you're just a pickup with that team of like which like, hey, don't get me wrong, Tekka and Believe are great, right? They're like the kings of being a third on any roster, so they get it. Don't get me wrong, but just like, well, what was that like? Just kind of being as a third. Like, did you guys talk at all about like what the strat was, or you're just like, I'm gonna load up and shoot my gun, and we'll figure it out from there?
So that was right after World Series of Warzone quals. Like it was a couple of days. I was staying at Bobby Pop's house because I needed fiber because I didn't have fiber that entire year, and we just moved, and I was on like satellite. So I was like 6 a.m. I was in Bob's house. They called me and they were like, "Hey, do you want to play?" I said, "Yeah, sure, I'm down." Free trip. We had an org, so I was like, "Screw it, I'm down."
Yeah.
But I really want to say if me, Gary, and Scummin had the opportunity, which we thought we did, we had an org lined up, but obviously the invite system changed. I would have been anchoring that year. I really think I would have anchored for that team just because of the way we were playing World Series. Unless Gary really wanted to anchor, I was not a fragger in my mind. Like I was like a very slow support player. I was not fast. I did not have a go switch. Like I obviously had fairly solid gun skill, but I don't know if it was a confidence thing or what it was, but I just wasn't a fast player until EWC. And the only reason why I did that is because like the roles just didn't really make sense. Like Tekka and Bub were like, well, I don't care who anchors. And I was like, all right, it's up to y'all. Like, and then Bub was like, fine, I'll do it. Or like Tekka was like, fine, I'll do it. But like looking back at it now, like us should have anchored. But obviously we didn't know at the time.
No.
But that was the only thing that came around with that. But it was strange just for the fact that like none of us played together besides ranked. I didn't play with Bub. Roles were weird, but we figured it out pretty well. Like we were doing fairly well in like the scrims. Like we were getting like top 3, which was strange because like going into that event, like there was a lot of teams that had solidified POIs. We didn't know how like cons were gonna go. And Hector, I remember back then, Hector was like, we were a top 5 team. I was like, how? Like we played like 3 scrims. Like and we're like, we don't know what we're doing. And everybody else has been teaming for the entire year. But we did good in the groups, and like solo days we did good. Finals day we fell a little short. Just it was like, it was bio. That's what it was. We had Fnatic or whatever. It was. I think they were Vitality then.
Yeah, the Anxi and Padzuka and Zakar. Was that Zakar on the roster?
It was Stuo.
Yeah.
They were annoying because we would go Kim and they would just sit there and run at the plat every time. They screwed us, and then we got conned, and then we were all just we were tweaking. But it was a good showing for me because I think I got a big confidence booster going into that, and then as soon as that happened, like it was a switch in my brain. I came back home and like my pace fastened up. I was winning a lot more gunfights. I was confident, and we were doing really good in online tournaments. And we had like an insane confidence booster going into World Series. But right before World Series of that year, we ended up getting conned by Stuo in them.
Yep.
And we were doing horrible in the online tournaments. And we started like switching up POIs, and it came down to a con at high rise, and we ended up winning it the first day.
Yep.
So after that happened, we had an insane World Series for 2023. I can't lie, or 2024.
No, yeah, you guys were really. It was fun to see that team kind of. You guys obviously just kind of get back in form and be the team, and also be able to like to win that con at high rise, because I was like, there wasn't really that many like contests going on around the map. And that was like the big one that at least we could be like, and it had like real ramifications. You'd be like, the team that wins this is like set up so good, like no matter where the zone pulls there. So you obviously kind of have I said it in the intro, you have this like literally meteoric rise to fame. I remember like, a very funny story about Dongy is that we are literally, you guys win one of the games in I think one of the online stages. I think it might've been stage 2. And we go to the winning moment, which is it's your guys' stream POVs and not Codcaster. And it's you behind Vaughn going, "I'm stroking you, bro. I'm stroking you. Just go push his shit in," is I believe the quote, which is live, by the way, to thousands of people as we do. And I remember thankfully we were on the desk and we weren't coming back for bed. I am losing it. I am dying. And I was like, okay, these kids are my new favorite now, because I was like, this is what World Series is all about, is that it's about like the randos coming in and now all of a sudden getting a shot. But I remember watching like obviously that happening, sure, London didn't go your way, but I remember like then tuning into you on ranked, and it's like, oh, he's playing with Gary now. Oh, he's not playing with like all of the big dogs. Oh shit. Okay, cool. And then just kind of watch that. But it does feel like that was all the lead up to then obviously kind of last year, where it feels like you now have the recognition. You're known as a top player. You're known as one of the best fraggers in the game. Now you're one of the first teams signed to an org, right? In Virtus Pro alongside Sage and Noobs. Did that kind of feel like you made it? Was that like I feel like I made it kind of moment when you were like one of those first 2 teams, and also were kind of running Worlds on Area 99 for a bit?
Yeah, I think it was like a reality check, honestly. It was something to know. Like, it's good knowing that when you turn your stream on in a competitive setting and you still have good viewers when everybody else is live and people want to come to your stream to watch you play, it is a nice feeling. Yeah. Just knowing that people think you're good enough to want to watch whenever everybody else is live. That's what really settled in with me. I think the signing with Virtus Pro, being on a actual org, was really cool. I was very excited back then.
Yeah.
Just to have the opportunity to be on an org, especially with EWC that year. We knew EWC was coming. Being under a big org was really cool. Being able to travel, everything that come with it. Jerseys, like your name on a jersey, that was sick. I was just like again, I was still a kid. Like, I was 20, you know, whenever that first happened. I wasn't even 21 yet. That was it was really cool. But I would say the biggest thing was definitely the streams. Still, even then, like now, people still come to your stream, like winter scrims, like everything, because they want to watch, certain people play. And it's a cool spotlight to have. It does build a little bit of pressure, but I think at the end of the day, like, the pressure doesn't really affect anybody that's at that level.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I think it's a really cool thing to have, and it's very blessing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. I think you're right to bring it up. I mean, it is pressure, but it's also how you let it affect you. It's almost like good pressure, right? Because it's like, it's good pressure because obviously it's these people, they like watching me and my play style, because it's very unique, right? There's only a few people who you can go tune into. It's like, it's the literal beauty of Warzone is that we are the only BR that somebody can go drop 15, 18 kills in a game and like be that superstar fragger, right? And specifically even within our space, there's only a few people who really like have that capability to go do it, right? So like, you're kind of part of this elite that I think it's like why it's such a good, obviously it's just like a great POV, but it's also, kind of still talking about that VP year. You're also doing it, at that time, you're also doing it while also being basically the main IGL, which was like unheard of at that time, right? Like, you are on front lines and directing traffic. Like Shifty's talked about it when he obviously had to do that, like in London. Did you find that like really stressful to you? Were you just like, I'm just going to be the guy to do it because I want to be? Or were you kind of like, I have to do it if we want to try and manage to find these wins that we are?
I think building that team of me, Noobs, and Sage, we knew that, well, we didn't think there were going to be any complications with roles. I think the biggest thing was whether or not Sage or Eddie were going to anchor. And the reason why Eddie didn't anchor is because Sage was very comfortable being in the back because of the year he had previously with Swag and Adrian. He slowed down his playstyle a lot, and he was more comfortable in the back. So we had whenever Rebirth first started coming back, we had a lot of complications, just simply for the fact that Eddie and Sage are probably playing the wrong role. And it took us time to build into that. But the whole idea was I was going to be the IGL going into that team. I really felt like I was a solid IGL. I still do think I'm a solid IGL. I think it's the thing that I learned last year is my pacing screws up with the way you process information because you have so much going on.
Ooh,
like if you're constantly in the front and you're constantly worrying about shooting your gun, it's so hard to like take 10 seconds to breathe, to understand and like micromanage your teammates and make sure everything is going the way you want it to be. And it's a lot of pressure specifically on the IGL because if you lose, you're the one at fault.
Yep.
But obviously like a lot of it was weird because a lot of people didn't really think I was the IGL of that team, which was very strange in my opinion because I felt like
20 seconds.
Yeah, like
so
if you watch
obvious,
it, I was
like...
me and Sage were very vocal, but I was the one mostly. Sage had very good calls, and Sage was a very good IGL, like co IGL. I think last year actually really made him want to be an IGL if he wanted to be. It just kind of depends, like roles and teams and stuff of what he would want to do. But I think it helped him grow a lot. It made me learn a lot. Because I'm a very vocal player. I don't think that'll change unless I have to change that.
Sure.
But it made me learn as soon as World Series happened, and not right now. I don't want to IGL right now just because it's like I am much better off letting someone else control the micromanaging so that way I can focus a little bit more. Like I wanted to be a little bit more selfish.
Yeah.
And it might be insane to say, but like it was a lot. And it's something you have to consider, especially with roles. And I think nowadays it's like teams are very role based.
Yes.
The whole twist of mind change. You know what I mean? It wasn't that things didn't work out. It was mostly just play styles. Play styles didn't really work at the end of the day. And that comes down to roles and like support players and pacing. A lot of people don't take that in consideration. It doesn't matter if the other person shoots their gun straighter.
Yeah. If
someone runs a little bit faster, like maybe that works better. And that's a lot of things that a lot of Twitch chatters and a lot of just casual players don't really take into consideration. But it made me learn a lot.
It's literally why I wanted to start doing this, right? Because it's like there's like a whole other level to Warzone that I think just like doesn't get talked about, and we don't like you don't as a viewer like understand sometimes I think like the levels that has to go in, right? And I think the twist of mind thing is a good example. Like I interviewed Smitty and he said the exact same thing, and he was just like, he's like Shifty plays at like an insane pace, and he goes, I'm kind of a little bit more methodical of like, how do I put myself in the best position to like win this gunfight, right? Like, how do I put myself in a good position to like pop a 2-piece and stuff? And I think it's like so critical. And what's really interesting to me to kind of like bring it to modern era is that like we're kind of now 2 for 2 on seeing that blueprint, fortunately and unfortunately, underneath the same person of this like IGL fragger that then moves underneath what is considered the best IGL in the game. And then, wow, all of a sudden you thought they were at the top of their game and now they're even better, right? Both you and Shifty did the exact same thing, moving underneath Soka, where it's like, all right, I now got confidence that the guy in the back is going to be able to make these play calls, and I can kind of turn off my brain a little bit and just kind of L1, R1 fights. When that team first came together, right? Obviously, huge, big thing. Falcons blow up, Biffle retires, whatever. It was the worst kept secret in Warzone that, you were going to try and team with Soka. I remember it the day after World Series that night. I literally saw you guys eating dinner. We were literally there as well. I thought you were just friends hanging out. Turns out they were contracts getting apparently talked about, that were there. But did you, was that a conversation you guys had about how you were going to try and manage the voices? Were you worried at all? Or were you just kind of like hell yeah, get me out of here, Soka. You can do whatever you want, brother.
Well, To speak on that part of time was it really wasn't me, Ed, and Soka at the start. It really was going to be me, Ben, and Soka, and me and Soka were a locked duo for the year, no matter what. The third was very up to debate. Like it was up to question. I think after everything that happened, Soka wanted a new slate. He didn't want to team with anybody that he's teamed with before. Well, I guess he's teamed with Ben, but it was a smaller time. But he wanted new teammates, and that was very obvious. He wanted something new. We thought that me, him, and Ben were going to be a very good team. I still think that team would have been good. We played one tournament. I wasn't at home. I was at Hector's setup.
It was not good. I casted that. It was not good. It was not a good event.
It was I mean, it was okay. We got like 5th or something, but like we started off hot.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we got into like team fights, that's wherever you realize that we have 2 anchors. I think with time, that team actually would have still been very good.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing was I don't even know if you could find the VOD, but our team fights were so chaotic because we're all 3 like so vocal, like you couldn't understand or hear a gunfight or like hear a footstep. Like we were all talking, and then another one was like it was a like the twin buildings next to hospital. Ben there's a solo on the other twin. We're all 3 on it. Ben goes, "We should go play that guy," and then I start flying off. I don't say a word because I'm playing it. I hit a zip. I like died to the guy, but like Ben and Eddie or Soka are just like sitting there like looking at me. Like just run over there instead of trying to help. And that's what Ben told me. Ben was like, that was like the decider. Like he knows that like it's gonna take time for both of them to realize that they can't do that.
I remember when we saw that, like when that was a roster, I literally said, I was like, this is going to be either the greatest Warzone roster that we've ever seen conceived, or this thing is going to blow up in a ball of fire. I was like, there's no, cause I'm like, you have these 3, like the 3 arguably like smartest players in the game, all on one, all IGLs, like, you know what, I was very curious how that was going to work. And I was like, if they could gel, it could be great. And then I remember that event. There were so many of like those moments where I was like, stuff is just not clicking yet, but it was early on. So you were like, well, you know, no team is immediately great, right? Like it's not there, but it's so funny to hear you talk about that because it's just like hearing those like little inner workings amongst teammates. That's a hilarious moment. But so obviously you have this like, you know, kind of not a great tournament, whatever. You make that realization. How do you eventually, you know, basically end on Eddie being the guy to come in and kind of help support you?
Yeah, well, at that time it was basically a race for contracts. If that trio stuck against Shifty Skull and Smith, if that trio also stuck, I mean, they won that event, so we were all pretty bummed just for the fact we were basically racing for contracts.
Yeah,
like we were trying to figure out who was going to have Falcons and who was going to have Twisted, and in our minds, and that's what we were all being told. Yeah. So it was like that really mattered. And Ben ultimately made a decision to go back to Smith and Shifty, and I couldn't blame him. I really Soka took it very personally, and I also don't blame Soka because when that happened, we were like, well, who are we gonna play with? Like we sat on a call for like 10 minutes, and we were like, dude, we're screwed. Like we don't know who we're gonna play with.
Yeah,
and then we go Juan, and then we get on the phone. We start calling. He ends the call, and then he calls Eddie, and then I call Eddie. Eddie starts laughing immediately, and then like we just wanted somebody because Soka didn't know if he wanted to be in the front or in the back, and we wanted somebody that was going to either support both of those areas or somebody that was just going to be a good fragger with me.
Yeah.
And Eddie, obviously, me and Eddie, like, we didn't know if we were going to team going into the next year because of World Series. Like, we had a very poor performance. Again, that wasn't on anybody individually. Like, that was all, like, IGLing and, like, just teamwork. Like, we were just not clicking that day. It was awful there. I think all of us would admit that. But we ended up sticking with Ed, and we tried out Ed, and we were doing well in scrims at the start. And then we won the first, like, WTF, and we were like, all right, well, this is our guy. And Eddie has been a very good fit with me and Soka, just because me and Eddie have the chemistry. If Eddie really needed to anchor and Soka wanted to run around, Eddie will do it. Eddie is just like, we call him like a droid. He's a robot. He will do whatever he's told, and he does a good job at it. Like, He is just a very overall solid player, and I think a lot of people don't recognize that. So I think that's a good thing.
I say it all the time. I'm like, Noobs might be one of the most like overlooked players that we have in our scene. Not underrated, because I think if you ask anybody, they'd be like, oh yeah, he's gross, he's great. But like, is really overlooked for like those finer detailed things, like you said. It's like just his ability to play alongside you. It's like he's so good. Like even just like Haven's Hollow as an example, where you do that thing where, great, we grab boat, you guys are the ones flying Main Street. He does such a good job. You'll see it in the fights where the second that the fight isn't in your favor, he's just flying back to boat. He's like, all right, like, sorry, Dongy, you're dead, but I'm playing my life, and like I'm gonna stay up here. Or if he feels confident that he can be able to slide in and make the trade. And also just like POV wise, the guy is shooting laser beams, and I don't know what it is. It's like, I know we've had kind of a lot of metas of like pretty low recoil guns, it feels like, so it's a little bit easier, but I feel like that just makes his job so much easier. He'll just like snap somebody out of a window, and it's like having those little moments on your team are crazy. And I love that you're shouting him out and giving him some credit, because I do think he's the glue guy, right? He's a big reason of why that team works. He fills so many of your gaps, and like you said, it's like in this era of Warzone, you need to have those players who are okay being a little bit flexible. Because you're right, Soka has those games where he's going to drop 15 and you're going to have 3 for some reason, you know? And it's like, you just got to be okay with it and have that person who's willing to like swap up roles, you know, and be able to have that. And that's what I think, honestly, is what makes your guys' team so good at that. It's just you all understand your role to like a very deep sort of caliber, but you're also all not afraid to kind of like be a little bit lackadaisical with it and just kind of play around whatever the situation, you know, needs at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I think the biggest thing is, I agree. We all understand our roles and we all take it into consideration pretty much every day.
Yeah.
No matter what happens or what goes wrong. Like if something goes wrong with my fragging, Eddie can fasten up a little bit, or hell, if it really needs to come down to it, I'll go to the back.
Yeah.
Like I think we could all take turns, like playing that role, and it makes us a very versatile team, just because nobody else can really do that. Nobody can like change roles just like that. And I think the other thing with it is it does help for Eddie to have like a constant rock of what he needs to do. He doesn't need to do anything flashy. He doesn't need to talk a lot. He doesn't necessarily have to, you know, do a lot. Like, and I don't mean that as a bad thing.
No,
it basically makes it to where he loads up and he does the same thing every day. He constantly knows what he needs to do. If he needs to fasten up or like speed up, he will do it. Eddie is a very good anchor player just for that. And I think a lot of other teams take that, like they don't realize that like that type of mentality and that type of role, like swap change, team morale, team thing really takes like a toll on everything. And that's like the biggest thing when it comes to Warzone, in my opinion. I think it doesn't really matter about shooting guns. I think it's more so team morale and like roles. And again, I'm a big firm believer in that. That's kind of how I've learned about it over the past couple of years. I'm starting to get into my vet years now, I suppose. So, like that's just how that's how I see it now, and that's the biggest thing for me.
It's like look at like any of the LAN lobbies, right? Or like think about EWC. It's like there's like, you know, you could probably look at the list of players and go, yeah, I'm the best fragger here, but it's not by like some insane margin, you know? It's not anything like super crazy. So you're right. Like it comes down to the mental aspect of it, to be able to get you there. And I think that's something that a lot of people overlook is understanding, like, you know, because it's one thing to like know you have like a good support player. It's another to know, like, for you're like, oh, if I fly in here, Eddie's getting my trade. Like I know that, you know, you can have that level of confidence, allows you to play completely different. I want to kind of talk about some of the moments of this year, right? So obviously you guys go in, we get this thing, the Warzone Resurgence series, unheard of. You know, we now have literally double the lands in a year. So we thought, you know, unfortunately World Series got moved to next year, but that's fine. You know, we have way more lands, more opportunity to compete. Hell yeah. I'm sure you guys are looking at that and like foaming at the mouth, because you're like, they're like us on land is about to be a cinema, and it has been. But going into Birmingham, right? You obviously you win the event. It's very emotional. We've seen the clips and things like that. It was really cool to be able to see that. Did you feel like a weight had been sort of like lifted off your shoulders that you could play a little bit more free after winning that Birmingham event?
It felt like, yeah, I think it was basic. It was definitely like an anchor got dropped out of like my ship. Like it was because it's something that like I don't want to say every player, but I feel like most people that really care about this. I think if you ask a lot of people about me, like I am very passionate about this.
Sure.
If the money wasn't really involved in this, I really want to win. I it doesn't bother me, like you know what I mean. But like, cause like even now, like we got second in the 100K the other day, like I literally had a frown on my face for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Like I think we were all depressed. Like when none of us wanted to talk to each other, not out of like you screwed up, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like
You're
we don't want to interact.
Like
yeah, like we just felt bad in general, and that's just that's what comes with this. If you really care about it. So as soon as you get that, Eddie probably felt it a lot more than me.
Oh.
Because he's been in this for a while and he's competed a lot longer than me. That had to have been an insane relief off of his shoulders, and he probably felt like a new man. Because I know Ben was saying it. I think he put it in like whenever he won EWC, he was like, you really don't know, or maybe it was Aiden. You really don't know if you're gonna get that opportunity to lift that trophy.
Yeah.
And I believed in myself, but at the same time, like that's a thought in the back of your head is if you're really gonna ever be able to do that. So as soon as that happened, it was nice. It was nice knowing that like I did it. You know what I mean? Like nobody can really say anything. But at that point, everybody was like, "Oh my god, it's a Mickey! It's a Mickey! Like it's a minor. You guys want a minor? Like."
Dude,
I don't know.
You
like
got
those
to
lobbies are so
qualify
competitive.
to get there. Yeah. It's on land. Like
that's what I was saying.
I listen, money like prize pool, whatever aside, like those are good teams playing on land. Like whether you like it or not. Like it wasn't like you guys walked into Birmingham and like it wasn't like the classic Falcons that we had been used to seeing. They just like stomped everyone and you're like, oh, I guess they won another tournament. It's like, it actually almost feels sweeter because it's like, you guys are now coming in and you're not just stomping everybody. You're like, oh wait, like we actually got to work for this. And we did work for it and managed to like, you know, absolutely do what we needed to do in the moment and come out with a win. So anybody who says Birmingham's a Mickey Mouse is fading for the record. Let me be the first to say it. But I want to like think about then going into Atlanta. So now, okay, great. You've already won Birmingham, sick. You're coming into Atlanta and you're obviously able to win. I want to talk about some moments of Atlanta, but just on the same sort of vein, after you win Atlanta, do you now feel like there's actually more pressure because now you're kind of teeing up for the big one? It's EWC. This is kind of where you prove if you are the best team in the game, like everybody says you are, and you're going for basically a hat trick on the Warzone Resurgence series. Do you now feel more pressure after winning Atlanta that maybe you didn't expect to feel?
I think so. I after even winning Birmingham, you definitely felt the change of how other teams would play for you, even in scrims. It's very noticeable in scrims. Yeah. Bigger tournaments, not as much, but you have a target on your back, and we know that going into every single game. So that's why we kind of take scrims with like a grain of salt now, because we have to. Like, if we're the first to hit match, there's 6 teams playing for us every single time. And that comes with a job. Like, you know what I mean? Like
being the best in the game, man. Like,
yeah, like we won. We won Birmingham. We won Atlanta. It's starting to like rev back up a little bit now after Atlanta. We've noticed it even in the 100K. Like we had a good zone that final game, and we watched the VODs back. People saw our gamer tags and they knew where we were going to be, and everyone played for us. There was 5 or 6 teams that played for us. So that doesn't excuse the fact that we didn't win. But it does make the getting to that point a little bit harder. Comes with a job, but there's definitely a lot more pressure on our shoulders just for the fact that we are considered the best, and if we don't win, then you know it's kind of like in a way it's similar to CDL. Like say LAT wins 2 majors, you know what I mean? Yeah. They win major 2, major 4. They're the best going into champs. They don't win champs. Their legacy is kind of forgotten for that year for the most part. So that's kind of like my mindset on it is like, if we don't close out EWC, it's like, what did we really do it for? Obviously you still have 2 LAN wins and you had a great year, but at the end of the day, like the big one is the one that really matters.
Yeah.
That's how I see it now. It's like our ring for Warzone now.
Yeah, so. And I think that's a great way to look about it, because it is the unfortunate kind of reality of the situation where it's like, yeah, it's winning the lands is nice, but I'm sure if you ask anybody in the scene, would you rather have lost both lands to win EWC? Like every single person is saying yes, right? Like nobody's gonna be like, wow, I'm sure glad I won the 2 lands, and then even if you get second or third, it's like it's my biggest gripe with our entire scene is that we don't celebrate enough of the not winners, and not from like a participation trophy standpoint, but it's like, hey, dude, getting second or third at EWC is like very still tippable. Like it's still like, you're one of the best in the world. And that's why it's kind of like when you look through the years and you see like so many of these rosters, it's like, I'd love us to like prop them up a little bit more. So that way it wasn't this unfortunate scenario where you kind of have to be like, if I don't win EWC, like, what did I play the entire year for type thing, right? Like it's not. Yeah. It's a little bit tough to say that, but speaking of EWC, we're a couple weeks away out of there. Scrims are kind of happening, I guess, when they decide to run that are there. What are you guys doing just to try and like get the mental right, prep, and make sure that you're as prepared as you can be?
I mean, the biggest thing that we're trying to stay composed with is teamwork, friendship, the little stuff. Like we're just trying to keep in touch with everybody, even when there's not scrims, still play with each other, keep the team morale up. Scrims are a little bit mickey right now. There's a lot of like drama going on with scrims, so hopefully they start picking back up soon so we can get some more reps in, because we really love playing scrims. Like even if we lose or win, like it's still, no matter what, we take it with a learning curve. You get to shoot your gun, you stay warm. It's really nice. Here in a couple weeks, we're flying out to Paris early, or France, I mean. For boot camp. Boot camps are always nice for just that whole team chemistry thing. We did it for Birmingham. We did it for Atlanta. Soka never did one until Birmingham, but I was like, we did one last year for our EWC team.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, it's fire. Like you just get to hang out, you get to joke around, like, and plus we have like tourneys and stuff now. So
yeah, say, because I think when people hear boot camp, they're thinking gameplay wise. And I know I initially was like of the opinion, I'm like, do boot camps really matter? Because it's like, so what? You're gonna go to France and then play scrims on 120 ping, something that you're not used to, like all this stuff. But for you, from what I'm hearing, it's way more just like the team chem stuff, just to like make sure you're going into EWC like, hey, we're locked. We just had a week or 5 days of just like joking around, and these are my boys, these are my brothers, I'll die for you. Like, is that really more what you feel like you're getting out of the boot camps rather than necessarily like gameplay wise stuff?
I think the gameplay stuff is a big deal as well, because we do look to see, like, I mean, if you go to anywhere else that's not your house, you're going to be playing on a 1080 monitor.
Sure.
The PCs might not be the best. So obviously, if you play on that for like a week, you're already getting your mind adjusted to that. And EWC as well. Well, it might be a little different this year. We don't necessarily know how it's going to work, but you get the option, or the ability to play on like player rooms. So you get a lot of like prep and warm up on those. So that's just more practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot of people take that into consideration as well, is playing on no like audio tune, no like insane overclocked PC, no 1080, or I mean no 1440.
Even being in a different environment.
Yeah, like you're not playing in your room. It helps with your mind, because you go into that LAN and you're like, well, it doesn't feel that much different than what I've been playing on for the past 5 days, and your eyes are adjusted. So I think that helps. And yes, the team chemistry thing is a very big thing. I think a lot of people don't take that into consideration or value it nearly as much. I think being boys, being like, good friends with your teammates is a very big part of being a team.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people don't take that, as serious. But that's just how I view it. So I think it's like ride or die. You're just cracking jokes, you're having fun, and then you get to hang out with everybody for like 2 weeks. So it's a nice time. But boot camps are always good, in my opinion. No, I think a lot of people are starting to do them now too. So
I think most of the larger orgs, I think, are, if anything, just for the time difference. Just like, whether it be France or Riyadh, wherever you're trying to go, it's like, even just, like for some of these people from the West Coast, right? It's like, that's an insane time difference even from them. Like, I'm usually pretty good being East Coast, so it's like, whatever. But I think about those people, and it's just like, dude, it's like a 12-hour time difference. Especially even like, and then I'm like, even like when we were going to like Riyadh, I remember like talking to Sage, and he's like, dude, I am checked just like my sleep schedule is like all over the place. He's like, I don't know what day it is. He goes, I'm being told when to show up and I'm shooting my gun. And then that's really all I can do right now. I was like, dude, that's insane. So even just for that though, I do like seeing the boot camps. And the cool thing about Resurgence too, it's like, I almost wonder if there's like enough teams to do it, right? There's probably maybe okay enough, EU teams as well. Like you could fill out at least maybe some type of on ping, scrim or tournament if you wanted to. A little bit more as well, but I like it. I like seeing a lot of these big orgs actually investing basically in Warzone, right? Is really what they're doing. Like it'd be easy just to throw you guys a salary and be like, all right, cool. But like say, no, we actually want you to come over here and be able to, obviously Falcons, they're going to do that, no worries there, but to see other people do it too. I want to get a little personal, a little individualistic with you, because this is something that's interesting. Obviously you being, heralded by the community and also just statistically wise, one of the best in the game. I don't think that's an argument that many people would try and take. My question to you is going to be very broad, and I want you to be as cocky or as humble as you would like to be. What makes you great?
I think the thing that makes people great in general is just if you look at Shifty Soka and you look at me, the biggest thing that makes a difference is we've done a lot of different roles. Mm-hmm. So you've seen the eyes of where you need to be and what you want to do. So it comes down to pacing, in my opinion. So that's what I've learned a lot in the past 2 years is slowing down and speeding up. And especially this year, because Soka's been on my ass about it. But like putting my controller down and I think realizing the little moments that you need to like that need to click in your brain of where you need to be to win.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people think like that anymore. It's just analyzing the game and like processing it at a different level. I think there's only 5-6 people that really think of it like that. And I think the reason why I'm quote unquote great, I suppose, is I can, if you really need me to, I could IGL for a team. Mm-hmm. I could be a support. Or I could be your fragger, and I could do it all. And if you really needed me to do more than one more than the other, I could do that. I think versatility comes into a great play of Warzone. I think that's why people value Soka's like intellect so much. It's because he can do that. He's very smart, but at the same time, like he can shoot his gun very straight, and that's why people like value him so high. And then people like look at me and like Shifty now, and they're just like they're really good fraggers. But at the same time, like we process the game at such a high level compared to other people.
Yes.
It's not even comparable. Like I mean, you look at the teams so far this year. I mean, now down the stretch, there's better teams, but even then, like going into an event or a tournament, like. We're still the two favorite teams, even if one of us has been struggling more than the other. It doesn't really matter. So it's like it's just the ability to close that type of thing.
Sorry, go for it.
No, I was just gonna say I think it's the versatility in roles and being able to like obviously play all those roles. You see everything from every eye, and you're able to do what you need to do at the right moment. It's just a winning moment type of thing that makes or breaks people.
Yeah, I've always said I think the best teams, and this goes for like even like next year, like if you're trying to form a team, you have to form a team that is that like anybody on that team can be the X factors, I like to say, right? It's like anybody on that team can have a takeover map where they just all of a sudden start, popping off. And can be that for, like you said, to be able to slide into that versatility where they can, if they're feeling it, if they're just like, yo, I'm not missing right now, then like your team can kind of be flexible in order to help support them to do that. And I honestly think if you were to look at the top teams that we have in Warzone right now, they all fall into that category. You can look at every single player. And like, if you ask, like, can that player pop off and have a 15 to 20 kill game by themselves, right? So the top teams, they all kind of can fall in that line. Whereas you look at some others, I can look at the stats wise too. It's like, you look at their anchor and it's like 8-game series, their anchor will have like 25 kills. And I'm like, and I look at Soka and Soka's got like 50. And I'm like, dude, like Soka's double fragging half of the anchors in this lobby that he's, and you watch the game and it's not because he's all of a sudden like magically frontlining now. It's like, no, it's like he understands where to kind of to hang out there. And I think that's just like something that you said. I think people don't realize how much that comes into it. Obviously, besides that level of mindset, do you have any type of practice or habits that maybe fans don't see that you can really attribute to like you feeling good and making sure that you're on your game when it comes time to shine?
Uh, Not even kidding. It's I was really burning myself out the past like 2 years, I want to say, like ranked streaming in general. So far this year, I've still streamed a lot, but I've taken a little bit less. I focus on it a little bit less just so that way my body can be in a better like shape. Because I would have days where I would like load up and my hands just didn't feel like they would feel different every day.
Yeah.
And I think that comes with like the job. Like you're gonna obviously not feel the best every single day. Like you're playing a video game. Like obviously it's not hard labor, but like you either way, like if you do something for 8 hours a day, like you're gonna wake up and maybe your body's not gonna feel the same.
Yeah.
So taking care of my body actually has made my fingers and my thumbs and stuff and like my brain actually like feel so much better every single day. Because like to be frank, I do need to warm up. Maybe give me like it's getting I'm 22 now. Like I probably need to warm up for like 10, 15 minutes now, maybe to get ready.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I didn't need to warm up. I needed to like shoot my gun in the firing range for like 5 seconds and I was good. But I don't really need to do like aim training or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's not going to affect me. But like eating well, sleeping, making sure I like do the whole normal human stuff actually like matters. And that's like silly to say, but like I feel like a lot of these like gamers don't really take that nearly as serious as they need to. Like just taking care of your body. And it's just something that like a lot of people who are now probably hitting, 25 to like 30, maybe that have like arthritis or like carpal tunnel or like they didn't take care of their bodies when they were gaming or telling me, and like I feel it. So it's like I'm starting to do it a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest thing for me. It might sound silly, but it actually does like change the way you think and the way you feel. So
I think, listen, with the amount of just even prize pool available, but also, listen, people are getting salaries now, right? Like whether people like it or not, you are the highest class of competitor in this esport, right? And if you want to keep being the best that you can, you have to do all of these things to make sure you're still getting that money. Because like you said, we've seen it time and time again across so many people who are in their prime, and then all of a sudden it's just as simple as a thumb injury that all of a sudden now they can't compete. That's so much money that's just kind of away from them. So hey, I think if anything, hey, it's not cringe at all. Maybe people can learn something from you, my man, because obviously whatever you're doing is working, and just to hear that the changes that you made is great. But it's been awesome being able to sit down and kind of talk through all of this, because I love the way you think about the game, and obviously like a really cool story just from kind of start to finish, just watching where you come from to now here where you are, of just literally, I mean, what, 3 years ago we had no idea who you were, and now here you are on the #1 team in the game, considered by but to be the best. And I think that's just, we sometimes don't realize how just like in its infancy our esport is, right? And seeing that kind of rise to fame. I'm going to give you one last thing. Do you have anything you'd like to say to any of the Falcons fans, any Dongy supporters, anybody you want to shout out, anything like that before we go ahead and wrap this up?
Nah, I really do appreciate everybody that supports me. My family, my dad, my mom, everybody, my loved ones, everybody that's been through Twitch chat, sticks through. I really do appreciate it. Everybody that's been around for a while, that still hangs out. The Falcons fans are, they love it. They're passionate. That's the one thing I'm not excited about it not being in Saudi, is not being able to feel that level of love. But either way, Paris will still be cool. Hopefully there's still a lot of fans there, but I love everybody. I appreciate it all. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, awesome. Well, hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate it hopping on. Can't wait to see you guys, obviously, at EWC. It's going to be cinema. It's going to be a movie. And I know no matter what happens, we're all just here for along the ride. But make sure you're checking out Dongy's. Everything's will be linked below. Go check him out and streaming. Currently nuking right now until scrims come back online. So if you want to go watch that, it's great. But hopefully we'll get scrims up and running. You can see that POV running around. But yet again, man, thanks for hopping on.
Of course. Thank you so much, Angel.